I am now more lost than ever.
If we follow the logic, we will always arrive at our destination, the truth.
But I am truly lousy at that.
Don't give up, Princess. Let's start from the beginning.
Very well. I shall try. If the victim was holding something, that would be a key clue in this case, right? First, regarding the size of what he was holding...
Hey, were you even listening? If the victim was holding something big, you definitely would have seen it nearby. But you didn't see anything like that. So that means...
That's right. Even Fubuki, who was at the scene immediately after the victim fell, didn't notice that small item. Therefore, it's reasonable to believe that whatever he held was something that could fit in the palm of his hand.
And the impact of the fall caused him to drop it. The third time, the victim realized he dropped it and appeared to be looking around for it. And when he saw it, he said, "There, 1." But why would the victim mumble the word 1 after seeing it? Perhaps he was holding many similar items, but dropped most of them during the fall. And in that situation, he saw the last one and muttered, "There, 1." What do you think about that?
Why would he need to say how many there were? Couldn't he just say, "There it is," and nothing else?
The victim didn't get a good look at his surroundings, so he didn't think it was the only item at that moment. However, he did deliberately say 1 the last time, so something must have caused him to do so.
I see. In that case... Normally, that would mean that whatever was on the surface of the item displayed the number 1, would it not? So the victim saw that and read the number 1 aloud.
Huh? That's a dumb conclusion to make.
No, that's a sensible way to think about it. It's logical as well. The victim saw it and mumbled 1, so we should assume it was actually written there.
Are you serious? So whatever it is has the numbers written on its surface, right? What is it then? I don't get it. In the beginning, he said 3, not 1.
It's not strange at all if we assume the number changes depending on the situation.
The number can change? Wait, then that must be it!
Whoa, Fubuki! Do you know what it is?
Yes, although it is just my guess. The item the victim was holding... Perhaps the victim was holding... a watch? If the timing of when I helped the victim changed, then the numbers displayed on the watch could have also changed.
I see. Then it's a watch. But if that's the case, wouldn't he have mentioned the units of time?
Units? What is this difficult concept you speak of?
For example, you would say 3 minutes or 1 hour.
Right, you wouldn't just say the number by itself, whether it was digital or analog.
Oh, then perhaps it was something different. Such as a die or something.
A die? Oh, I get it. The number would change depending on the roll. Hold on. It first went from 3 to 2. Isn't it strange the numbers weren't the same? Fubuki arrived at the scene after the victim fell. By that time, the die would have fallen from the victim's hand. Which means that whatever number turned up on the die should have been set by that point. It couldn't have changed.
You're right. Do you have a counter-argument for this?
In that case, perhaps this explains it. That day was my most luckiest day after all, so maybe the numbers on the die changed on their own.
That's not how it works!
Right. My apologies. The angle from which he saw the die would have been different.
The angle?
The first time, the victim was lying face down. If there was a die in his line of sight, he would have only seen one side of it.
What about the second time?
The second time, I arrived just a bit earlier, so I tried to help the victim up. At that moment, he probably saw the top side of the die.
I see. So that's how it went. It's true that under normal circumstances, only the number on the top of a die is read.
He landed on the taxi the third time, so it is possible that the roll of the die changed.
Fubuki, you sure are sharp this morning.
Really?
So basically, it went like this. The victim fell from the rooftop while holding a die. He dropped it once he hit the ground. Which means the die was cast. As the victim was knocking on death's door, he mumbled whatever number he saw. Great job deducing that much, Fubuki!
Does it appear that I'm becoming a better detective?
Yeah, but not nearly as great as me.
We still lack an answer regarding the final part.
The final part?
What was the victim trying to communicate with his dying message?
Now that you mention it, you're totally right. Why did he even bother reading the number on the die?
Perhaps it was to inform us of the identity of the culprit?
There is no doubt that the die was meant to point out the culprit. Nearing death, the victim sought out the die to inform you of that. But in his daze, the best he could do was say the number he saw.
So the die was pointing out the culprit?
Wait, wasn't there a place that had something to do with dice in the building the victim fell from?
Oh, so perhaps the culprit was in there? The culprit must have been in the luxury shop on the first floor.
What does that have to do with dice?
Well, they are a luxury brand shop, so maybe they sell luxury dice.
There's no such thing. Think again.
Sorry. Was the culprit in the restaurant on the second floor?
What does that have to do with dice?
Well, I have heard of a dish called diced steak.
Sure, that's a thing, but let's avoid the puns for now.
Oh, really? Then in that case... Was the culprit in the beauty salon on the 3rd floor?
What does a beauty salon have to do with dice?
Nothing, I suppose.
Fubuki, are you sure you're not doing this on purpose?
I am not! Anyway, moving on. Perhaps the culprit was in the casino on the 4th floor?
That's probably it.
You did it, Princess! I didn't think you'd be able to figure it out.
There is no way I could have done so on my own. You have my deepest thanks, Halara and Desuhiko.
Yup, now bow down to my charisma.